Welcome everyone to the show. I am your host, the Showman Cat, and I will bring you the best entertainment of all. In today's show, we are going to do something unusual from this stage. Nobody will perform something for you guys. I am going to tell you stories that happen in the world of EXODIA. The amazing WhiteWingCat went through a ton of effort building farms, and so I am here to tell you how it all went. So without further ado, let's begin the show. Before we can build a whole lot of farms, there's one crucial thing that we must acquire, and that is we must gather a whole lot of redstone power machines. Now normally, if we want to get a whole lot of redstone, we will build a raid farm, because raid farm is the efficient way to acquire a whole lot of redstone, because riches spawn during raids and hence you get a lot of drops from redstones. But it was that day, that one day 1.21 came out, and that turns raid farm no longer work as efficiently as the witch farm. In order to build a lot of farms, we need to get a whole lot of redstone, because redstone is the primary functions of automatic farms. So without further ado, the first farm that we ever need to build is the witch farm. Now this witch farm is done by Sugarcraft. The design are made by them, so go make sure to check them out. The link, I'll put the link down in the description below so that you guys can go check it out. It is very easy, and I believe I have made a little bit of changes so that all the witches will go up to the bubble elevators, and I'll do all the looting tree killings to them to increase more drop rates for the redstone. So I've been AFKing here for half an hour, and so far the rate of this producing is pretty good. And especially given that once 1.21 is here, the redstone production is going to be far more productive. So this is going to be very useful for having a witch farm, and it's quite efficient as well. So you know what, now that we built a witch farm, let's move on to the next build farms. Gentlemen, redstone isn't the only thing that I need to acquire in order to proceed building other farms or creating other agricultural projects, because I also need some cobblestone. You see, in order to make dispenser, dropper, or any other craftable recipe, I need a lot, and I mean a lot of cobblestone, and I didn't want to go mining for them. So why don't we just build ourselves a cobblestone farm? Now once again, I don't want to mine using the cobblestone generator as well, so we're gonna explode them using TNT. So it's basically automatic. That way I don't have to do anything, and I'm still getting cobblestone regardless. For a better reference, please go check out Sugarcraft Cobblestone Farm. They have a better tutorial on how to teach you guys to build one. Please take a look at the amount of cobblestone that we've been getting. Now granted, it may not look like much, that's because I haven't been running this farm for more than 10 minutes, but yet, even just few minutes, we are already able to get this many stacks of cobblestone combined, and especially look at this. We got a double chest full of cobblestone. This is going to be very useful. Now we don't have to worry about crafting observers or piston, as they take quite a lot of cobblestone to make them. And yeah, it would be really nice to have an extensive amount of cobblestone resources, and maybe we will even using the cobblestone to build some stuff as well. Who knows? But yeah, it's definitely really nice to have a cobblestone generator that works automatically without having needed me to go mining for them. Now that we got some redstone and some cobblestone, we can finally move on to the actual farms. The first farm that we need to do is the Wither Rose farm, because we're gonna need a lot of Wither Roses, not only for the Wither Skull farm, which we will be heading there in a moment, but also we're gonna need Wither Rose for example, the black dice, because it just so much more easier to get black dye than to make a scrape farm for it. Not only that, another benefit for Wither Rose farm is you can also use it for other mob farm as well. So it's very important for us to build this farm head on first. Now shout out to Sugarcraft for building this farm because this design is based on them. Now I must say, this farm is pretty dangerous to build even though you're using the same system as the typical Enderman farms. Having to set up a wither cage for the wither and then actually get a wither rose can be quite tricky, especially I have a situation where the chicken died a few times. That's because I think I had the chicken a bit too high, and as you can see there are endermen spawning on the platform, which that shouldn't happen because chances are the chicken could be pushed off and yeah, problem would happen. But I can assure you this farm has been working quite efficiently. It's been growing wither roses and that's what I've been using to actually build the wither skeleton skull farm. So yeah, not only that, we can also use wither rose for black dye, and we can use this to combine with the prismarine and get that prismarine. That's another item I'm gonna need for my mega build. So yeah, that's out of the checklist. Let's move on to another farms. Hey, speaking of black dyes, we need to make sure that we can acquire all sets of colors, and that also includes green, blue, red, yellow, and etc. You know the drills. And as of currently, I already have cocoa, which will allow us to get brown dyes, and for greens, we get it from cactus, for white, we get it from the bone mills. It's just easy for us to build a two tall flowers which will give us yellow, pink, magenta, and red. However, accept one more colors, the blue dye. Now, flower farm is one of the farms that is very interesting because you don't really get every single color in one location. Now, two-tone flowers is very easy to get. You can just get the two-tone flower and you can already get yourself a red dyes, pink dyes, yellow dyes, and magenta dyes. So that one is absolutely clear. If you want to get a brown dye, you can just get some cocoa, which I have some over here. If I want to get some cactus for green dye, I have some over here. White dye, I get it over here. Black dyes, I get it from the wither roses. Now, blue dyes, I can either get it from the lapis lazuli, which I can trade with the alchemist over here, lapis lazuli, just to demonstrate. We get the lapis lazuli, we get it, and then there you go, we get the blue dyes. But let's say if I just don't want to do tradings, you're gonna need to find a place that actually produce blue dyes. And as far as I'm concerned, I've been checking every spot over here. There are some blue rose flower over here, but they don't really generate as much common as you do in meadow. And I don't have, as far as I'm concerned, don't have a meadow biome in any of the locations here in my vicinity, which means we have to go very far away just to get myself blue dyes. I wish I could have recorded this because I just killed Wandering Trader outfit because I was just opening the chest and as I close and turn around, all of a sudden I got jump scared by a stupid Wandering Trader, and yeah, all of it I just Now that we built ourselves the Wither Rose farm, it's finally time for us to take on the challenges and go to the Nether and build ourselves the Wither Skull farm. To build the Wither Skull farm, we need a whole ton of Wither Roses, which is why the Wither Rose farm had to build first. And the benefit of having a Wither Skull farm will give us a lot of Death Skull for us to make a beacons, and we also get plenty other resources such as bones and coal, so that I don't have to worry about fuel anymore. And the bone supplies is gonna be very helpful for me to use for many other farms such as moss farm, tree farms, and etc. Now, to build this farm, we need to make sure to mock-proof every area in the vicinity from the player. We also need to make sure that nothing else can spawn apart from just the Wither Skeleton Skull, so that we can have a maximum efficiency for the farms. Now, I am certain that I've been AFKing here for about an hour now, and the production for the Wither Skeleton Skull, I did took a few for making some beacons, but overall the coal supplies and the bone supplies are a lot. And now that I got the Wither Skeleton farm going, I don't have to worry about not having beacons anymore. I can just keep farming, and there you go, that's another Wither Skeleton Skull over here. So yeah, now that I have the Wither Skeleton Skull, I don't have to worry about the bone production, the coal productions, and the beacon productions. This is a wonderful farm, and let's get on to another farms. I like to build something with a whole ton of different variety of blocks, and one such thing I must acquire in this farm is a Guardian farm, because they give Prismarine farm, Dark Prismarine, Sea Lanterns, and etc. Because I'm gonna need those blocks for my mega bases, and I'm gonna need a whole ton of it. So why don't we just build a farm out of it? Now, this farm is built by Sugarcraft. Shout out to Sugarcraft for building this design. Now, apart from the farm itself, I also did a little extra stuff for the nether side of this Guardian farm. I have did a little bit of adjustment and made a little bit of tunnels that will send all the items into my industrial storage farm. But there is a problem. I've been AFKing here for about a good half an hour, maybe even an hour or so, and you can see the rates are really good. Shout out to the person that made this farm, by the way. So yeah, all of the guardians that die in the nether, the items will be sent into the factory itself. You can see there are some chunk loaders here and there. This is to load the nether, so that I have the tunnels that will send all the items into the factory. However, there's currently a flaw in this system, because for some reason I just couldn't get the chunk loading work just right. Like if I were to leave and join the game back again, the chunk loading will start working, hence everything break, the item won't flow into the system itself. So I probably have to fix this during the off camera, but in terms of the resources, well yeah, because I haven't been fixing the chunk loading, we're not getting that much, but once I fix it, we should be able to get a whole bunch. But most importantly, the Guardian farm is one of the major farms that we actually need for the mega bases, so it's gonna be really helpful to have this farm in our world. So yeah, now that I got the Prismarine, let's move on to another major farm, shall we? Ever since they added frog in Minecraft, they also added 3 different types of Froglight: the Verdant Froglight, Pleasant Froglight, and Ochre Froglight, and I like all 3 of them. But in order to acquire all 3 of the Froglights, we need to breed all different types of frogs, gather them into one locations up in the nether roof, and build the design for the Froglight farms. Now this Froglight farm is done by Rigun. Shout out to Rigun for building this Froglight farm. Now once again, I have done a little bit of adjustments to the design, so it's not 100% following based on what shows in the description below. The Froglight farm is pretty simple to build. All you ever need is some allays to gather all the Froglight resources, some golems so that the magma cube can get attracted by the golems, and some of the powdered snow so that we can kill all the big magma cube and turn them all into a smaller one. The iron golem here is doing a pretty good job at defending its place and killing all the big guys out here. And all the smaller ones, the froggies, will kill the smaller one and get us the Froglight which we need, and we get all 3 of them. And once we've done that, the allies will pick them up and put them down into the storage system down below here. And take a look at this! We already got about a 9 stack and more of each type. And again, I already took some of it for the ochre because I'm gonna be using them for a lot. But yeah, I think for the mega bases I'm gonna be using the pearlescent Froglight, mainly because it's purple. And that might be a hint for you guys to guess how the palette is going to look like. Yeah! Now, my dear viewers, I have spent a long time trying to design my very own mega bases. But there's a problem. You see, the materials acquired for the mega bases needed not only a whole ton of redstone, cobblestone, and concrete, but also I need a whole ton of copper blocks. And in order to get copper blocks, there is 1 or 2 ways for you guys to get it. Either you go mining or you get it from drown farms. And so I didn't want to go mining, so I figured, why don't I just make a farm for copper? Now, I didn't make this farm by myself, nor do I make a time lapse for this, but as you can see, it is working wonderfully. It does take some time to actually run the farm. It took me about 10 to 20 minutes to actually get the farm. Also, shout out to EXODIA for designing this wonderful copper farm. I must say, I had my concern on this farm before, but after using it for a while, it's been working quite good. The only problem I face with this farm is you can't really use a diamond sword or a netherite sword. I don't know why. Some people can do it, but for me, for some reason, if I use a diamond sword or a netherite sword, it will just kill a whole lot of zombies immediately and they won't spawn any more of the reinforcement. But yeah, I've been running this for quite some time now, and we did get a decent amount of copper, which is one thing that we need for the builds. And yeah, it's been slowly accumulating. Again, I haven't been running this one for a long time, but once I did, we should be able to get a surplus amount of copper for our build. So yeah, it's nice having a copper farm, and they are really loud and noisy, so all I'm saying is this, congratulations me, and I'm moving to the next farm. Ah! No, I know, a lot of you guys are probably thinking about, this is totally illegal. To duplicate sands, why are you doing this? That's cheating. Calm down, everyone, please listen to me, just this once. Now, in the past I have done a lot of sand digging in the desert, and I have been doing for a really long time, gathering the resources, gathering the sands, smelt it down to glass, and then waste it all and run out of the resources, and then repeat the same thing again, to the point where my mega base has gotten so big that needed so many concrete and glass. I cannot simply dig out the whole biome of desert just for that mega bases. So I hope you guys understand that I have to do this, which is why I have to say we are duplicating sand. Now this sand dripper farm design is done by Librarian. Shout out to them for designing this, because in the past I have also built another sand dripper of a different versions, and the thing, this version has probably broken it because I tried to build it my own and it didn't quite work. So I have to rely on some YouTube advisors and and in the end I end up with this design. So once again, thank you so much Hilaro for coming out with this design. It really helped me out, although there is a problem with this farm. You see, the problem is I already got the sand working over here, and it's been producing duplicates of sands in the end portal. The only problem I had with this farm is, you see, I was supposed to get rid of the obsidians by using a silly string, some people would call, but I don't know why somehow the obsidian managed to spawn back again. I think I managed to get it working, but I probably have done something wrong. Maybe like the way the direction has something to do with it, I suppose. But all in all, I did technically get some supplies of sand. Not sure if I actually got them all though, or yeah, I'm pretty sure I already took all the sands with me, so I can't really demonstrate how efficient it is, but trust me, it is very efficient. I just need to get rid of the obsidians and then the problem will be solved. But for the time being, this is how I'm gonna get a whole bunch of sands. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to go back to the desert again and do some more desert digging. Now then, we have finally reached the final farm, but before we do that, let's reach to the honorary mention of the farms that I've built. Now 10 isn't exactly the farms that I've built for this episode. That's because I did do a little bit of extra, and those farms are a little bit tinier than the big farm. So the first one I would like to announce is the Iron Golem farm. For those that remember, right from the very beginning, we built ourselves a small little iron farm right below here between the Alchemist Empire and soon to be the Librarian Empire. And at first, either building here was a good idea because I thought I'm gonna be here for a lot, but it turns out I'm at the industrial district a lot more, so which means that this farm here doesn't really generally get loaded that often. So I mean, like, it's not even generating a lot of iron. There's still some over here occasionally because I don't really take them, but well, wait, actually that's quite a lot. Anyway, my point is, because I'm not being there that much, and I also need a lot of irons, it's best for me to actually upgrade the Iron Golem farm, which we did. It's right over here in the industrial district now, and it's actually right below where I normally would. So if we take a look down here, we got all 4 different modules over here. Each of them will zombie and 3 villagers, and each of them is going to produce 1 golem. So in total, we got 4 golems that's going to be for down here in the middle, and permanent themselves to left or burn themselves to left, and all the items will be spit out and stored into the factory itself, aka the storage room. And I must say, it's been producing quite a decent amount of iron since we last AFK at the industrial district, and take a look at this. It's maxing out, and also there's no roses like here and there. All of them will just drop down into the bone meal composter thingy majiggy over here. So wonderful! We got a whole surplus of iron ingot. This is going to be very, very helpful for me, especially when it comes to building redstone. So yeah, that's that. And maybe iron trapdoors, I don't know. We'll see. Next up, we got the glow squid farm. This one is very simple to build. You just need to take out a tiny little bit of boxes, fill up the whole box with waters, and then hoping that the glow squid will spawn. Now of course, in order to kill the glow squid, we also need axolotl, as axolotl will kill all the squid and drop all the glow squid insect and put it down into the system. Now finally we got Tunnelball as our final mentions. Now this design is done by the Master Miner. Go check them out in the description below. At first, I did try to change a little bit of design from this because the initial design, it requires you to use ancient debris as the blocks that will prevent TNT from exploding, so I converted to Mangrove root and waterlogged locket, but it turns out that didn't quite well. Let's demonstrate it. So yeah, there you go. So in the end, I have to went into the nether, grab the ancient debris, grab enough, replace it back into the thunderbolt design, and then voila, it worked wonderfully. Thankfully, I don't think I've made any mistake because otherwise this whole thing could explode. So yeah, it's been very efficient for us to get a whole bunch of deepslate and other diamond and resources. Now that I have a thunderbolt, it's going to be very useful for me to be able to get a whole ton of deepslate, especially given that even with a beacon, it's still very difficult to mine the deepslate or at least instant mine it. So having a thunderbolt that can blast up the deepslate, and then I'll just light up the places as I gather the deepslate. Enough. Once I do enough, I should be able to get about a sugar box in just about like, I don't know, 5 minutes. So it's gonna be very helpful if I ever need a whole ton of deepslate. Apart from that though, it's also gonna be very helpful for me to be able to get a lot of diamonds this way. Although, unfortunately, I haven't really come across a lot of diamonds, so I'm not sure if I'm really unlucky or not. But I'm not sweat about it. In fact, the original design for this machine here is much longer in width, and I only built 4 of them because I was lazy to dig out another width of this. So I figured might as well just build the 4 of them over here first, let the machine dig out a huge length. So I'm gonna be tearing this down and build it facing this way, so we have more width and more of the modules. And in doing so, hopefully we'll get even more deepslate, even more redstone or diamonds, so to say. So yeah, it's nice to have a thunderbolt. Again, shout out to the person that built this. Thank you so much. It's gonna help me a lot. Now that we have done the honorary mentions of all the farms that I built, let's proceed to the final farms. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I spent a good 3, maybe even 5 hours designing my very own mangrove farm. Boy, should I tell you, I regret having it. Because you see, mangrove farm was a little different than what you would imagine. They don't grow like oak tree or birch tree or spruce tree. They grow weird. So I spent a good 3 to 4 hours trying to figure out how I can exactly explode off the tree without leaving any debris. Let's just say that didn't end quite well. Apart from that, even after I fixed the solutions, there's still other problems arising there as I build the farms in the Survivor EXODIA series. So yeah, I have a lot of pain. I really do have a lot of pain. I'm gonna say this right now. This is one of the most annoying farms I have ever designed in Minecraft. Because mangrove does not grow the way oak tree does, or birch or spruce. They grow in a weird way. It means you have to design it differently so that you can actually get decent supplies of mangrove logs. The problem I dealt with this farm is how the TNT does not explode every single blocks over here. You might have seen it over here at the top, where there's still some remnants of evidence. There, and also another problem with this farm is, apart from not being able to get a whole bunch of mangrove log, I wasted about 8 stacks, probably even more than that, of TNT for each dropper. And for those 8 stacks, this is all I got. Yeah, it's not very efficient, is it? Not to mention, if I keep spending so many of my TNT just for those measly amount of mangrove logs, I don't think this is going to cut it. So what I'm going to say is, I'm sorry guys. Looks like I'm going to have to duplicate the TNT after all. This whole top part is going to get redesigned. And I'm going to have to duplicate the TNT so I don't waste a whole bunch of resources. That, and also I don't want to grind any more gunpowder and sand. Please have mercy with me, please. Come on. So there you go. That's all of the 10-bit farms that I've built in EXODIA. I hope you guys enjoy all of the farms that I built and the show that I'm performing to you guys. If you're excited and you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to leave a like and comment down in the comment section below and let me know your feedback. Even though we weren't able to build every single farm that currently exists in Minecraft, which is fine because we did build quite a lot of farm in this episode. Once again, thank you so much for you guys attending the shows. My name is the Showman Cat. I'll see you guys in the other shows. Thank you everyone.